Welcome to English Daily Talk, a podcast where we explore real emotions and real stories in real English. Today, we're talking about something we've all felt, sometimes quietly, sometimes deeply: loneliness. Chris, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Jessica.
Here's something that might surprise you. Studies show that 61% of young adults feel seriously lonely, even though they're more digitally connected than any generation in history. Today, we're exploring this modern paradox of connection.
That statistic really hits home. How did we end up feeling so isolated in an era where we're supposedly more connected than ever?
Well, let me share something fascinating from recent research. Our brains process digital interactions differently than face to face ones. Even when we're messaging constantly, we're not getting the same neurochemical rewards that come from real human contact.
That's really interesting. So, in a way, we're filling up on digital junk food while starving for real emotional nutrition?
Exactly that. And here's what makes it even more complex. Studies show that people who spend more than 2 hours a day on social media are twice as likely to report feelings of social isolation.
Hmm, but don't most people spend way more than 2 hours on social media these days?
Oh my goodness, yes. The average person spends about 2.5 hours just on social media, and that doesn't even count texting or email. But here's what's really concerning. During those hours, we're often engaging in what psychologists call passive consumption.
Let me build on that. We're scrolling through carefully curated highlights of other people's lives while feeling increasingly disconnected from our own reality.
You know what's particularly striking? Research shows that even brief eye contact with another person triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. No amount of emoji reactions can replicate that biological response.
That's such a powerful insight about our biology, not keeping pace with our technology. How do you think this affects our ability to form meaningful relationships?
Well, here's what the data tells us. Despite having an average of 338 Facebook friends, most people report having only 1 to 2 close friends they could call in a crisis. That's down from an average of 3 to 4 close friends in the 1990s.
Those numbers really put things in perspective. We're trading depth for breadth in our relationships.
And let me share something that really illustrates this shift. Studies of college students show that empathy levels have dropped by 40% since 2000, right as social media usage began to rise. It's like we're losing our ability to truly understand and connect with each other.
That's genuinely concerning when you think about the long term implications for society.
You know what's interesting? Some researchers are now calling loneliness a public health crisis. They've found that chronic loneliness can be as damaging to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Well, that's a startling comparison. It really frames loneliness as more than just an emotional issue.
Exactly. And here's another layer to consider. The pandemic actually helped us understand this better. When forced into physical isolation, many people reported feeling more connected because they were having deeper, more meaningful virtual conversations instead of surface level social media interactions.
That's such an interesting paradox. Sometimes less connection can lead to more meaningful connection.
Let me share something that psychologists have started calling the intimacy paradox. The more ways we have to connect, the less likely we are to form deep connections. It's like we're skimming the surface of relationships rather than diving deep.
That really resonates with what we're seeing in younger generations, especially.
Speaking of younger generations, recent studies show that Gen Z, despite being the most digitally connected generation, reports the highest levels of loneliness. Isn't it fascinating how the tools designed to connect us might actually be driving us apart?
Let me add something I've read about this. Researchers found that even brief periods of phone free social interaction can significantly reduce feelings of isolation.
That's so true. And you know what's really encouraging? Communities that are creating tech free zones or organizing face to face meetups are seeing remarkable results in terms of mental health and social connection.
Those kinds of initiatives really show there's hope for finding a better balance.
And here's what I think is most important to remember: loneliness isn't a personal failing, it's a signal that something in our social environment needs to change. Just like hunger tells us we need food, loneliness tells us we need meaningful connection.
That's such a compassionate way to look at it. It's not about fixing ourselves, but about creating healthier ways to connect.
Well, let me leave everyone with this thought. Maybe the answer isn't to disconnect completely from technology, but to use it more intentionally, to make it a bridge to real connection rather than a substitute for it. Thank you for joining me, Chris.
It was wonderful to talk about something so real.
And thank you, listeners, for being part of English Daily Talk. If today's episode made you think, share it with someone who might need it. Join us next time. The fear of failure.